Hello everyone, it is Pat with Angel Divination with our daily oracle card reading and message for the 17th of February 2012. And I'd like to send a special message out to my daughter. It's her birthday today and she is turning sweet 16. So I'm so delighted and I so enjoy her and what she's like in her teenage world right now. So for today's reading, in addition to the card decks I felt drawn to call upon, which is the Archangel Oracle card deck, and I didn't do a Romance Angel card reading yesterday, I don't think. So, and I was going to do one for every day this month. I also am going to call additionally on the Mermaids because in honor of my little girl's birthday, because she's a swimmer like her mom. And I remember when she was a little kid, a young girl, she drew me the most beautiful picture of a dolphin jumping out of the water right as I was trying to manifest like a trip to Hawaii. It was just the most interesting thing. I had always wanted to go to Hawaii to swim with the dolphins, and as I was trying to manifest that, she had brought me a picture of a dolphin jumping out of the water. Completely, I hadn't told her that's what I was wanting to do, so it was completely intuitive in a in an unconscious sort of way on her part. And she's always had a connection to the animals and crystals and things like that. So anyways, I'm going to call on the Mermaids in honor of her birthday today. So, but first, let's see what the Archangels, let's see who's working with us as we go into the weekend. Calling upon the Archangels for whatever messages they have for us today. And who do we need to be working with here going into the weekend? Ooh, okay. All right, there's two that's fallen out here. And of course, the first is Archangel Raphael with healthy lifestyle. And right alongside was Zadkiel with compassion. These two fell out together. Okay. And as I tune into Raphael, I do get that sense of the endeavors. He's very motivating in terms of if you've been looking to, maybe you've hit that point where your New Year's resolutions are kind of wavering. You had great resolve at the new year to make changes, and maybe you did take some initial steps, but now there's something a little bit more you need to do. Or Raphael guides us in making healthy lifestyle changes. And the message on the card says, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. So I feel like with this card today, he's reminding some of you to remember to go back to the basics, okay? And those basics being, make sure you are getting a good night's sleep, because sleep can, or lack of sleep or not getting good sleep can really affect a lot of other areas, okay? It affects your ability to think clearly. It affects your motivation. And it tends to lend itself, if you're not getting enough sleep, to becoming maybe over-caffeinated and going towards the kinds of foods and beverages that are false, stimulants or things like that. So I feel more it's maybe more oriented to some of you out there where sleep is an issue for you, and you can call on Raphael and Archangel Michael, the archangels, to help you to get a good night's sleep. Okay, but it speaks in general to just taking care of your body as an instrument and paying attention to how food affects your body. It may be that as I looked at the card today, it sort of felt like you might need to incorporate a little variety in your diet already, explore some other options, maybe even working with a nutritionist. So Raphael's in here guiding us along that way today as we come into this weekend. And it's if there's some kind of food program or dietary program, maybe like Weight Watchers, or I use one called Ideal Protein, or something like that you'd like to endeavor upon, but maybe worried about if you can afford it or not, or the extra expense, actually, you can call on the angels to help you afford something like that you know would be good for your well-being. Or even if you're having trouble deciding which program or plan you'd like to follow, again, ask Raphael or your own guardian angels to help you to decide which one would bring you more peace. They will answer you and they will reveal that to you. So they're calling your attention to going back to the basics of really taking care of your physical body. Being mindful of what you're eating, make sure you're really getting enough sleep. And, for those times where you're frustrated and aggravated, exercise to dissipate that energy. So, and Zadkiel, as he comes in here, the more you take better care of yourself, okay? Zadkiel is an angel of compassion, and that is his message on this card today. It says, soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So as I look at that card, the sense that I get from it is that if you've had some really hard feelings about something or towards someone, Zadkiel is offering his assistance here. You can call on him for this to help soften your heart towards it. And I know sometimes that's hard because it feels like if we soften our heart towards it, that we're going to open ourselves up or be vulnerable to being taken advantage of again or manipulated or something like that. And that's not necessarily the case. Actually, the hard feelings and negativity and energy that we hold up against something or someone creates a power struggle. And that actually creates more resistance and, it attracts more negative experiences with that person or situation. So I also feel like as you endeavor to work with Raphael to make, to take care of you, take care of your physical body and take the time out to do that, you'll feel better enough that it will allow you to be more compassionate with yourself and other people, okay? Because sometimes the issues or the things that we take personally from other people, they come from a place when we've already got some irritability going on. And the irritability oftentimes is due to not getting enough sleep, not taking care of your physical body. And this, taking care of your physical body could even include, getting some treatments for yourself, getting a massage, going to see the chiropractor, the acupuncture, or something like that. I certainly feel like it's along those lines. So, and as you do that, the better you feel, the more you're able to be compassionate with yourself and other people, okay? It allows you to, doing that allows you to soften your heart. And Zadkiel is a very quiet, very studious archangel, but he works with Archangel Michael a lot to just, kind of clear out. We know that Archangel Michael is primarily the angel that we call upon for clearing, but many of the archangels can do that service for you. And Archangel Zadkiel specifically works with clearing your heart of negativity to help you get into a good heart space where you can be really loving and compassionate with somebody else. And compassion is just love coupled with understanding. So that's the messages I get from these two archangels today. So, all right, so let's do a real quick pick of a romance card. Okay, what is the romantic advice for our YouTube community from the Romance Angels? Nothing's jumping out today, so all right, so we'll just pick one from the Romance Angels. Nothing's jumping out today for the what do we wish the YouTube community to know? Express your love. It says, go ahead and make the romantic gesture. This feels similar to me to the card that I think Doreen Virtue got in her reading middle of the week, which is make the effort. And it says it's time for you maybe to initiate. Send that nice little note or that endearment or that nice little gesture that expresses your love or your interest to somebody. So I know it's hard sometimes. We might be shaking in our boots a little bit as we do that or be ready to turn beet red. But sometimes it is worthwhile, or just it might be just taking that step to let somebody know how you feel about them. You know, as scary as that is, because we become afraid of a little rejection, um, you know, there's really nothing to be ashamed of in expressing love to someone. So, and we've certainly been foolish or for lesser things. So, um, this is, you know, and it, you know, in these cards it speaks to romantic love, but you know, it can be agape love too, the friendship kind of love that we express to our children, to our siblings, to our friends. You know, sometimes it's really nice to take the time out and just let your friends know how much you love and appreciate them, and maybe how much you couldn't imagine not having them in your life. So that's what I get for this card today. This my cards always dump all over the place because I don't have a good way of holding them up. Anyways, all right, so, and finally, I know this is a long reading for today. I'm going to call on the mermaids in honor of my daughter's birthday. My little mermaid. She's a swimmer just like her mom was. Loves the water. So, mermaids and dolphins, we call upon you. Ooh! This one came flying out. And it says, accept heaven's help. And the message on the card says, you've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. And as I look at this card, I'm called to that flock of birds. And, you know, what this card essentially, the message it's conveying is, you know, you've asked for help, so release it to heaven in the same way, like, you know, if you've ever had either seen an image or had that image of, you know, somebody releasing the doves into the air, or releasing a big bunch of balloons into the air. What they're suggesting with this card is, you know, you've asked for help, so release the issue to heaven that same way. You know, the same way you know, open up the cage and let all the doves fly free, or the way you know, let all the balloons go flying up into the air. Just turn it over to heaven and let it go. Get out of the way and let them help you. Just, you know, once you release it, really just, you know, completely let it go. It's like dropping off a parcel or a package or a letter at the post office, and, you know, you've dropped it off. Now they do all the behind the scenes work. So that's what that card is about. It's about accepting heaven's help. And anytime you feel, you know, the issue really come up again for you in your mind and awareness, just take a moment, breathe, and say, God, angels, I'm giving this to you. I'm tired of thinking about it. I'm letting it go and trusting that you'll replace it with peace, compassion, love, freedom, whatever it is that you're desiring to have. All right? Those are our messages going into the weekend. And I hope you have a lovely Friday, and I look forward to speaking with you again tomorrow for the weekend reading. Take care, everyone.